Marisol, thanks so much for joining us. I want to start by just talking a little bit about your teaching career. How long have you been an educator?
I've been teaching for 32 years. This was my 32nd year.
Wow. That's an amazingly long career. My wife is a teacher. I know it's an incredible job. It's a difficult job, and more than 3 decades is a long time to be doing it. Now, we're talking today because you were recently put on leave, and we're going to get into all the reasons why and the intricacies of this, but take us through the events that led up to this.
Well, it was a regular day. I'm sitting on my desk at lunch and opening my email, and I get a text from an email from my supervisor asking me to come and see him and bring union rep for a meeting regarding my cross. So that was shocking in itself. I didn't know what to expect.
So they ask you to come. Now, you had this crucifix in your workspace. Describe where it was in your workspace for us.
Well, as when I come into the room and I sit down, it was right to my right side, so that I could turn my face and look at it and see it there. It was right there, parallel to where I'm sitting on the wall.
And so people understand you had it on the wall there. Just so everyone understands, why did you have it there? What was the significance of that for you?
I had it there because it was important to me. I had growing up, my grandmother made a big fuss about crosses and the Bible and how holy they were and how you needed to have them wherever you are. And I didn't even think anything of it. I just always had it. Like, it was my comfort zone. It was my place to be. It was just there. It was like routine. Like, if somebody asks you, why do you have your hand there? Because I
Right.
do.
Exactly, because it's important.
Yeah, it was.
So I'm going to, well, Keisha, I want to come to you in a moment on the legalities of this, but Marisol, this obviously had been, from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, in your space for a number of years. Had there been any other issue before this December 6th text message? Was there a history of problems with this crucifix? Were you told to take it down before? Take us through some of that.
Never at all. I always had it there since I was like teaching fourth grade, third, sixth, seventh. Kids will come up to me, ask me about it. I would tell them that's my cross. Why is Jesus on it? Because he was crucified. Questions that kids would ask. I moved it every time I moved rooms. It was not really anything. I thought it was common. I thought it was normal to have it.
Well, and in these spaces, Keisha, I'll come to you. In these spaces, these desk areas for teachers, are people allowed to have other displays? What sort of other displays do teachers have in these spaces?
So we have people who celebrate the sporting team that they like, the sports team they like. There's Baby Yoda. There's all kinds of things. What you would expect a teacher to have in their personal desk space, pictures of family, etc. And that means that space is that teacher's private expression. So the district cannot censor it. And in this case, if they're allowing all the other teachers to put secular things in their workspaces, then they can't ban Marisol's crucifix. That is a violation of the free speech clause. And that's just the first constitutional provision that the school district is breaking, because there are several other laws that they're breaking here.
Well, what was Keisha, when you first heard about this case at First Liberty, what was your reaction to the details as you understood them?
Well, I was outraged and it's just very frustrating because First Liberty has been doing this work a very long time. And we just spent 9 years fighting for Coach Joseph Kennedy in Bremerton School District, Supreme Court win. And you would think that because that case was so big that people would understand that the government doesn't own you just because you work for them. And in this situation, I think these facts are even easier than what was going on with Coach Kennedy. So I don't understand really why the district feels the need to bully this teacher and try and get her to take down a crucifix when she has every right to have it on that wall.
Marisol, you've been a teacher for a long time, and the New Britain School District, I assume you've been there for a long time in that particular district, but correct me if I'm wrong. Were there other issues? I mean, has this been a good experience teaching there for you? Were you shocked by the trajectory of how this went?
Well, we call each other the Dillo family. And the teachers are family. My friends, I have lots of friends in there. And administrators, they come and go. Like superintendents, I think I had like 4 different superintendents. Principals, forget, I can't even count how many different principals we have. But the staff were very, very close. And so I never saw it. I never saw it coming. It's just out of nowhere. And particularly when I changed rooms, every so often that they move me to a different room or a different grade. And then all of a sudden now it just came out of nowhere.
You mentioned the family atmosphere, and for anybody who's worked in a school or around a school or knows that, that's how it is. The teachers are family, the staff are family, and you're often in a school for a very long time. You had a choice to make here, and we'll talk about that in a moment of what you were going to do. And you have made a choice here, and we'll get into that. But the teachers, how are other teachers reacting to this situation? You've been put on leave. Are you getting support? Is there not support? Is the union being supportive? Take us through sort of how those around you are either coming around you or not.
Well, at first, they were shocked. Everybody who I told, like, I knew that I thought they were gonna fire me that day that they told me not to come back to my classroom. And I went and I told everybody because I was so shocked. So all my friends, when I saw them passing, I would tell them, bye, I have to go because I think I'm gonna get fired. And they were all shocked about it. I have some teachers that go with me that we attend the same church. And they see me and they say they're sorry. Some other teachers are texting me. But the school, they send out a message to all the staff telling them not to talk about this or not to talk to the reporters about what's going on. And they asked me not to talk about anything either. So I felt
well, and here we are.
Like
We're talking about
something.
It here because. Well, I mean, this is becoming a big story because it's obviously there are big issues here. You obviously being put on leave was a result of the fact that, initially you moved the cross when they asked you to, and you put it back up because you didn't feel right about that. You could have made a different decision. What was it that led you to say, no, I'm going to stand up for what you believe to be your right to display this?
Well, first of all, it was my love for God. Because I couldn't really live with myself if I took it down. Really. I just couldn't. When they moved it to the part where my feet are on my desk, I said, this is wrong. It hit me. I just wanted to cry. All I did was cry. I cried for a long time. And I just knew that it was my right to do it. I knew that I wasn't doing anything wrong. That, wow, of all the things that a teacher could get fired for, not teaching, not having discipline, not following the curriculum, stuff like that, to fire me because I have a cross, it was like unbelievable. And I said, I have the right to have it there on top of that. And people are afraid. They are afraid because they think that they don't have that right. They think that, oh, I'm going to get in trouble if I wear this shirt that says I love Jesus. I'm going to get in trouble. Like one day I wore a shirt that says the Our Father to a professional development day. And everybody was telling me, be careful. They're going to tell you something. They're going to get angry at you. And I got tired of it. I got tired of people saying they're going to get angry at you. So that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. Now you're telling me that I can't have that cross there.
Yeah.
I mean, no.
Well, it's particularly interesting when there are other messages, and this is a whole other conversation we won't get into, that are perfectly not only permissible, but enforced and pushed in schools today, that are often counter-faith messages. And so it is very interesting that people have to live in fear when it's a faith message. Now, Keisha, coming to you on this, now critics are going to say, okay, but the kids are being indoctrinated in some way, or the crucifix is opening up questions that, that like I've often heard, well, kids who aren't Christians won't feel comfortable then with the teacher. How do you respond to those critiques when people wage them in a case like this?
Well, that's nonsense. I think in order to live in a tolerant society, we're supposed to expose students to different things, including the fact that people have different religious beliefs. A school district that thinks it's okay to teach students that religion is something that you're supposed to hide or put away under a table or something that's odious to the Constitution. It's unpatriotic. And frankly, every public school district should have the knowledge to know how to treat their employees and their students. And I personally think it's a shame that the school district does not know the law because they're supposed to. They're educators. They're required to know it.
Yeah, and so Keisha, help us understand right now where things stand, because Marisol is on leave. Take us through the requests that you all have for her in her position, and what happens if the district does not back down and reinstate her.
Sure. So our demand letter requested that the school district leave Marisol alone, leave her crucifix alone, and treat her with the same respect that they treat these other teachers who have all kinds of things in their personal workspaces. So far, the district has pushed back. They do not agree with our position, which is totally fine, but we are trying to give them time to come to their senses because, as you're fully aware in the Coach Kennedy case, Bremerton School District was just as stubborn, and I can guarantee you that right now they're saying to themselves that it wasn't worth it to fight this case for 9 years and pay millions and millions of dollars in taxpayer money when ultimately you're absolutely wrong. And so here, I'm hoping that the district will come to their senses. If they don't, we will sue them in federal court.
And Marisol, are you willing to take that case as far as you need to win?
Yeah, my intention is for people to know that it's not against the Constitution, that it is not, and that they need to know that because that's important because they're using the Constitution against us and it's not true. The Constitution was meant to protect religious liberty, not to hinder it.
Well, Marisol and Keisha, really appreciate you breaking this down. We'll continue to keep up with you as new developments unfold in this case. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for having us on.
Thank you.